Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a quick look at Pythagorean theorem and its converse. We all know this. We've been using it a bunch throughout the year. If I have a right triangle with legs A and B, hypotenuse C, then we know C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Now, the converse of this is also true. We can use this to determine if we have a right triangle. If A squared plus B squared and C squared are the same, then you can make the conclusion you have a right triangle. Now, we're going to take a look when we don't have a right triangle. We can make comparisons like maybe C squared could be smaller or bigger here in just a second. Before that, though, we have a name for numbers that satisfy this equation. If you have any three positive whole numbers that satisfy A squared plus B squared equals C squared, we call those numbers Pythagorean triples. Some common ones are 3, 4, and 5, 5, 12, and 13, 8, 15, and 17, and 7, 24, and 25. There are a whole bunch more out there, but these are probably the most common. 3, 4, and 5 are probably among those even more common than the others. It's good to know these triples just because it'll save you some time when you're finding one of the sides of a right triangle. You can kind of see that pattern. One thing I want to point out is any multiple of these triples is also a triple. So 3, 4, and 5, if you double all those, 6, 8, and 10, that is also a Pythagorean triple. Or 10, 24, 26 is also a Pythagorean triple. I just doubled that second one. You could triple, quadruple, whatever. Any constant multiple that's positive of any of those three is still a Pythagorean triple. Now to that comparison. So I mentioned C squared. If it's the same as A squared plus B squared, we all know that that tells us we have a right triangle. But what if they're not the same? So if things are not the same, either one is bigger than the other or one is smaller than the other. So what if C squared was bigger than A squared plus B squared? That gives us an obtuse triangle. And you could probably guess if C squared is less than A squared plus B squared, that would give us an acute triangle. That's all you need to know for 8.1.